Hey guys, I was having lots of conversations with a handful of families over the last week or so since nationals. Obviously, June 15th happened and it's been pretty crazy since. I have another video kind of talking about the recruiting process and how it's shifted a little bit over the last few years, a little bit maybe is relative. But after having some of these conversations, I was reminded of this video clip from Nick Saban, who was talking about athletes and choices. And the main clip is like a little over a minute long. I'm sure the interview lasts longer, but there's just one part that I wanted to share from you. He says, these athletes have the illusion that they have all these choices. The fact of the matter is, if you want to be good, you really don't have a lot of choices. It takes what it takes. You have to do what you have to do to be successful. So you have to make the choices and decisions to have the discipline and the focus to the process of what you need to do to accomplish your goals. The last little bit is a little bit of a run-on, but in a sense, he's saying success takes what it takes. If you're not willing to do the things that you need to do to be successful, then you won't be successful. There's not choices. There's not the option of, hey, I do this thing today or I don't do this thing today. That's not a choice if you want to be successful. And I was reminded of that clip today, just having some of these conversations. When it comes to recruiting, I think one of the things that I am constantly coming back to is this idea of 95%. So 95% of the athletes that play high school volleyball across the country are not playing college volleyball. Roughly only 5% of the athletes across the country that are playing high school volleyball are playing in college, roughly around 17,000. It's a really small number when you break it down. And this process, the recruiting process, can be really difficult, especially if you don't go into it with the right mindset or with the right focus. And if you aren't willing to do the things that you need to do to get recruited, back to Nick Saban, it takes what it takes, then potentially you might not be. And I know a lot of athletes are okay with that in some ways, but it does. Like it takes what it takes. If it takes you 10 more emails, it takes you 10 more emails. If it takes one extra phone call, one extra text message, that's what it takes to get recruited. And we always come back to this idea of the reactive recruiting model, right? That my athlete will get found, I will get found, right? This comes from athletes and parents both. I'll get found. If someone's really interested in me, they'll reach out to me first, right? And I don't have to initiate conversation. And I point back to the 95%. College coaches will move on. If you don't email them, if you don't reach out, if you don't communicate interest, they will find somebody that is. Again, they're pulling from the 95%. They might not be their top choice, or maybe they have to wait around for another year and see who's still available next club season and things like that. But if you don't reach out to a college coach, they're not waiting for you. And so when it comes to this idea of a proactive recruiting model, it takes what it takes. If that means you need to send 100 more emails, then you got to send 100 more emails. Unfortunately, sometimes it comes to that. It doesn't always come to that, but sometimes it does. But if you have goals that you want to accomplish, if you want to play college volleyball, then you need to do the things that are going to get you there. And that's putting yourself on a regular basis in front of college coaches, sending them film, making your highlights. I talked about this the other day on social media, a post about if you aren't making your own highlights, then what are college coaches going to watch? If you have goals, if you have things that you want to accomplish, you have to go get them. No one's going to come get you and drag you along. And if you want to be successful, if you have goals, it takes what it takes. You don't have choices. You don't get to choose to not send the email out to the college coach. You got to send the email. You got to respond to the text message. You have to, in some ways, and I'm recording this in July. It's the middle of camp season. You got to go to camps. You got to put yourself in front of college coaches directly. You got to show them what you can do. You got to interact face to face. You got to talk to them one-on-one, get some feedback, get some tips, get some coaching from them, and then let them know that you're coachable. Do the things that they're asking you to do. Those are the things that get athletes recruited. And so in this time of kind of craziness from nationals and June 15th and recruiting, and I know there's athletes that are seniors right now that are still trying to get recruited. Do the things that you need to do. in order to put yourself in front of college coaches, in order to put yourself in the best position possible to get recruited. Because if you don't do those things, then the chances are pretty good that you aren't going to meet your goals. And just, again, going back to what Nick Saban said, it takes what it takes. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. I will encourage you always, be the proactive one. There's 95% of other athletes out there that college coaches can pull from. If you're not engaging with a college coach, someone else probably is, right? Reach out to college coaches, make your highlight film, send it to them, show up to some camps, and don't forget to have fun.